Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today we are reviewing the brand new, but actually not brand new at all, Jim Beam Black Label 7-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Jim Beam Black has been on the shelves across the country for as long as I've been alive, or at least as long as I can remember. Back in the day, Jim Beam Black was just called Jim Beam Black, and it had an 8-year age statement on it. America. Apparently Jim Beam thought that their customers didn't know how good they had it, so Jim Beam relabeled the Jim Beam Black 8-year to Jim Beam Black 8-year double aged. Because traditionally the white label Jim Beam product was aged for, you guessed it, half of that, 4 years. Eventually Jim Beam took that 8-year age statement, ripped it off the label, crinkled it up into a little tiny crinkled up 8 and threw it in the trash and renamed Jim Beam Black Label Double Aged 8-year to just Jim Beam Extra Aged. That occurred in 2015. Fast forward 9 years and Jim Beam is like, hey, guess what? We're gonna start putting age statements on all of our whiskey again. Everybody give us an applause. Great job, Jim Beam. Hells yeah. So they redesigned the Jim Beam Black label, slapped a 7-year age statement on it, and bumped the proof from 86 to 90. And wouldn't you know it, you can pick up this sleek looking son of a bee for under 30 bucks. Matter of fact, after I paid 30 for it, saw it for 21 the next day at Sam's Club. I guess you could say it pays to be a member of Sam's, even if you have to pay to be a member. Anyway, brand new bottle, looking sharp, looking great. I love that look. It looks good just sitting there. It's got the black and the gold and the other black, and it says black, and black on gold on black. It's friggin' nice. But when I bought this bottle of Jim Beam Black 7-year, did I only buy this bottle, or did I splurge? You guessed it, I splurged. And I picked up this Jim Beam Black Extra Aged 50 milliliter heater for comparison's sake. 7 generations, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey since 1795. Was a good year. In 1795, I shingled my first roof, and I remember it like yesterday, because I also shit my pants in a skid loader. And you never forget the days that you drive a skid loader. After 7 years resting in barrels, something special happens. The liquid turns a rich gold with notes of caramel vanilla and warm box. Warm oak. This is the smooth aged whiskey of Jim Beam Black. Let's first go ahead and taste the product that did not have the age statement, the extra aged Jim Beam Black. A 50 milliliter plastic bottle actually is not disappointing. The nose on it is not bad at all. Kind of smells like a caramel candy bar. Nothing youthful about it at all. It smells like a well-aged Kentucky bourbon. A little bit of a peanuttiness is developing as well, but it's kind of like a cherried peanut. It's like a Boston baked bean. Boston baked bean. Tell me if you smell it. Get in there. Go on and get in there. Right? 86 proof, not overly nutty. I was expecting it to be one extremely nutty bugger, but first sip, and you would be happy to say it's only a mildly nutty bugger. Wow. I haven't had Jim Beam Black Label in a very long time, and color me surprised. And if that's not something you can say in 2024, then I'm surprised. Pleasantly surprised by this plastic bottle 50 milliliter Jim Beam Black Extra Aged Bourbon. Kentucky Straight, of course. I know it's not the cool thing to do to say that like cheap bourbon at low proof is good, but I've never qualified to be cool. I've never met the criteria. So therefore I'm gonna say that that's not bad, that Jim Beam Black Extra Aged. Kinda dig it, and nothing wrong with it at all. There is a bit of a bitterness that starts to, poke its ugly head out through the peanut patch. Oh well. Oh well, it's 25 bucks. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's move on to the new and hopefully improved Jim Beam Black Label 7-year. And I can't get over how good that bottle looks. I honestly can't get over, like, whoever they hired to redesign their labels, quality hire, great job. Give them a raise. And if you don't want to give them a raise, then they can come work for me for free, cleaning up this house because it's a disaster. So think about it and let me know. Going in for a nose. Maybe, I almost said a bit sweeter, but then on second thought and second smell, and then third smell and third thought, I started to rethink what I was about to say. And now that I've recapped what I've been thinking, I've come to the conclusion that I don't actually believe that I was correct in that thought. So I just maybe shouldn't have even mentioned it. Actually, that would have been easier. There is something different about it, but I'm not jumping on the different in a better way yet. This seems to have a bit of sawdust on the nose, a little bit of the sawdust factory, like if you were throwing particle board in a wood chipper, and then every couple minutes you poured in like a bucket of cherries and peanuts. Medium density fiberboard, peanuts, and cherries. This has a little bit of a mustiness to it. You know when you leave clothes in the washing machine like a bit too long and then you remember they're in the washing machine and you're like, crap, do I dare put them in the dryer or should I rewash them? And then you go against your instinct and you throw them in the dryer, and then 3 days later you put on a shirt and you're like, oh boy, smell like a college wrestler's locker. I probably should have rewashed them. This has a bit of a mustiness to it. I suppose we should go in for a taste. Ooh. All right. This has a bit more of a peanutty flow to it. It's like a group of middle-aged wives went whitewater rafting. It's one nutty river. Second sip. It's not bad. This is not a bad bourbon. Some more mature flavors of like oak and dark cherry and caramels and spice are coming through. Is this a great bourbon? No. Is it something that I'm regularly gonna pour into a Glencairn and sit back and enjoy? No, because I got a bunch of other better shit, okay? But if you're out there, if you're starting your bourbon journey, this Jim Beam Black 7-year is a fantastic step up in like the aged direction. Get yourself a Jim Beam white label, get used to it, drink it a bit, and then climb the ladder. Move up the aged ladder. The 80 proof Jim Beam white label, start with that. 90 proof 7-year Jim Beam Black will give a new bourbon drinker an insight into what happens when a bourbon is aged for twice as long. Like I said, it's nothing phenomenal. It's nothing that's gonna blow your hair back, but it is surprisingly good. And for that reason, I give Jim Beam Black 7-year a score of 6.6. It's cheap and it's pretty damn good. I don't see any problem with Jim Beam Black. This fits a great spot in the Jim Beam lineup, and super happy that they reintroduced the age statement, bumped the proof a little bit, and hell, if you poured it for me blind, thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Leave a comment down below. Do you agree with me on this or totally disagree? I have a feeling it'll be split about 50-50. Half of you saying it's trash and the other half of you saying thumbs up, budget poor. But I am interested to hear your thoughts on Jim Beam's age statements and the 7-year Black Label. I'm out of here for the evening. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on picking up something budget once in a while. $21 at Sam's Club? 21 bucks. I wonder if my dad would like this. He used to love himself some Jim Beam. I remember some white label Jim Beam around the house, some black label Jim Beam around the house. I bet you my dad would dig this. I bet you he would.